Hey everybody, how's it going? Just checking in to do another episode of Working Together. Wanted to see who was available, who could hop on and just hang out and chat. Um, as most people know, if you're a small business owner, there's a lot going on right now. Most people are trying to file for some sort of financial support, whether it's the EIDL or the payroll protection program. So I just want to hop on here and encourage everybody to look into that. If you need any help or have any questions, what limited knowledge I have of the situation, I'm happy to talk about. I am talking to somebody who is an expert in this and trying to get him to come on to an episode of Working Together so that he can kind of help us all navigate the current situation. But that's something that's going on now, and every small business should definitely be aware of and checking into. But as you know, Working Together, just a live video. Everybody is welcome to join. The purpose of this is to bring people in live, talk about what we're working on, see if anybody in the room can help solve a problem, and hopefully we get some value out of it. So if you want to join, all you have to do is click the link above my head. It'll bring you into the platform. You can do it from your phone or from your computer. All you have to have is camera and audio. So you can just click the link and I can bring you in. So it's pretty simple. So if anybody's watching wants to come in, I encourage you to click the link and join, and let's see what you're working on. So we continue to work remotely here at Mighty. We've been remote since about mid-March. So things are actually going pretty smoothly considering how quickly we had to transition. But overall, we seem to be doing all right with it. I'm sure some of you guys are. This is your first time remote work, so I'd love to have you come on, talk about what you're doing, how remote work is impacting you, and what you're doing really to just kind of adapt and make your way through this challenging time. But I'm going to hang out here. If you want to join, like I said, just click on the link in the description of the post, and you can come right in. You can do it on your phone or your laptop, and you'll be live in the video and we can talk. I'm gonna add it to the comments. So I see we've got some people watching. Definitely click the link, come in. I'd love to talk to you, see what you're working on. Let's see. But yeah, so that's the purpose of this live web series. We are actually working on 3 other live web series where we're going to have different members of our team in here, really just providing advice and inspiration in real time. So keep an eye out for those. Everybody will be welcome to join, just like this one, and we'll basically talk to you about your brand or your website, and in real time give you some inspiration and some pointers and tell you what we would recommend. Basically just trying to keep the conversation going as we all work from home and we're not able to get out and see each other. As you can see today, I'm in my isolation outfit. This is what I wear for quarantine every day. I hope you guys are wearing the same. None of y'all are wearing pajama pants, I hope. But yeah, so I had to get a little bit more dressed up today to do a photo shoot. So that's why I'm in a suit. I don't wear this during regular quarantine hours. But if you're watching, click the link above my head or in the comments, and you're welcome to join. You can just pop in, say hello. We'll talk about what you're working on, see if we can help each other out. And that's pretty much the purpose of this whole series. Right now I'm at the office because we have fiber here, and fiber's a lot faster than what we have at the house, so it works out really well. So I try to do 1 episode every time I come in, just to utilize the fiber that we're paying for, and then hopefully I'm getting my money's worth for that week. But yeah, I would definitely encourage you guys to reach out to whoever you need to, accountant, banker, friends, family, to see what you need to do to apply for the EIDL or the payroll protection program. Like I said, we are doing that. Most business owners I talk to are doing it, and I'm going to try and bring on somebody who is an expert in this field, hopefully either later today or tomorrow, and you'll know because I'll make an announcement And he's basically helping small businesses across the country maximize the amount of money they get through the payroll protection program and make sure you fill out your paperwork properly so that you don't miss out on anything. Right now, it's a huge opportunity for support for small businesses, as most of us are either closing our doors this month or extremely limited on the business we can do due to the either shelter in place or government mandated shutdowns. So I definitely encourage you to listen to that once I get that scheduled. If you're watching, like I said, just click the link above my head or in the comments, and you can come right in. You can do it on your phone or your laptop, and you'll be able to talk. And that's it. So that's all I have for today. I hope some of you guys will join. I see y'all watching. There we go.
What's up?
How's it going, man? Did you just wake up?
No, this is Corona hair. I got the Corona hair happening right here. It's pure Corona hair.
Very nice.
No, I'm daddy teacher right now. I'm at home. Wife is working 40, and I am daddy teacher mode.
What are you teaching today?
We did SH words, which I thought was kind of funny.
And they put you in charge?
I was like, Daddy will teach you a few of those. Just don't say them in front of Mommy. But it wasn't. They also had she had Spanish class, and they're using Microsoft Teams, which is it's my first. Actually, it's my now second relationship with Teams. And it's an interesting software. It auto translates, so it goes through and does a lot of text to voice to text type stuff. Yeah. And while I was doing it, she's learning Spanish, and in the Spanish, it can't translate Spanish at all. So it's just to me, it's like the most entertainment I've gotten. It's Tiger King good, because the things this lady speaks, their teacher speaks in Spanish the entire time. She never uses English, which is awesome. And so she's saying, I believe it's Damil, D-A-M-I-L, Damil or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it keeps showing up as damn it. So in their thing, it says, Mom, damn it, it's like bring me a burrito, or bring me a pineapple. It said, damn it, bring me a pineapple. And I don't know how it's getting these. It had a couple other ones where it was just like, MDMA Latinos. That's what it said. MDMA Latinos. Like, what is this? It's like the best comedy I've gotten in a while, just because it can't handle her dialogue. So anyway.
Have you gotten to math? Are y'all doing Common Core?
Luckily, she's in first grade, so the majority of our math is still. I still understand it. I have a feeling though, when we get to Singapore math and getting into that space, I quit. I will firmly and abruptly pop, smoke, and roll out of there so fast it's not even funny. So I don't know.
Man.
Yeah. How about y'all? How's everything going?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I did a photo shoot at Mighty today, and there was like 4 people here, and we were all like separated out all 4 corners. We had you've been in our office. We had those big white tables, so we had the big white table between us in the shoot at all times.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. So it was, and we postponed it. We were supposed to do it last week, and I was like, I'm not leaving the house right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And of course, this week's even worse. So I'm like, man, I can't. We just got to get it done.
I got a feeling, Georgia just put their statewide in, so I have a feeling, and Mississippi. It looks like data is showing Jackson, Mississippi's kind of rough hit right now. I have a feeling we're not far behind getting a statewide, staying home. So it's probably better you got it done. Yeah.
So now I'm up here just getting work done, working on our fiber, which is really nice.
Yeah. It is nice in a way to have, like, I get people that are working at home, but like you, I have the ability to go to an office where there's no one there. And that little journey, that little trip, mine's much shorter than yours, but that little trip for me to go to the office makes me feel somewhat like I have a regular moment of time. Like I'm like, all right, cool, going to work today. And just getting in there has been nice, just to do something. I mean, my gosh, man, it's just, so. And I have my TV on News Mix, which is a huge mistake. I need to stop doing that. So I get all the negative news at one time in one 4-quadrant, except for the BBC. BBC seems fairly positive. Otherwise, everything's just. I like playing this game of juxtaposing CNN versus Fox to see who's more negative at a given moment. And then I started paying attention to MSNBC, who's clearly the king of negative news. MSNBC destroying them, everyone. It's like amazing down there. So
Yeah. So have you been able to shoot? Are you shooting at all right now?
not me. Jeff is. Jeff's actually in another state, and working for a large healthcare client of ours. So he's working out of town. He is shooting on occasion, but it's tricky because he's in an area that's healthcare based, so his risk for contamination is higher, and so he's keeping bigger distances. And then obviously best practices at this point are that way. Any of the shooting I've been doing has been like I did a video. I don't know when it's coming out. I did a video for a client, and we shot the whole thing 6 feet, and it was weird, and it was food, so that makes it even harder. So you're just kind of trying to keep your distance. And then I think eventually part of my goal now is to go back through any footage I have and start cataloging stock shots. I have no idea. I don't know when, like if I can find a way to leverage it and be like, hey, I've got these shots, or sell them or something, at least I have content that's, interesting.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation too, because you got to start questioning, is that okay? That's not someone's face, because I can't use anything with a face in it. But does their eyeball count? Like, would you know that was your eyeball if it's weird. That's the world I'm in now.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of doing the same thing. So like, we're trying to figure out like what can we help people with right now? So like e-commerce is one thing.
Yep.
So we've got some messaging out there around that. And then digital advertising, but it's like nothing in person or physical. Like it's really, really tough.
Well, one of the things, and I have a friend that has a channel, and they interviewed someone we had started it, and we're doing it as well, but just some of it's remote directing. So from my perspective, I can interface with a client, and look, right now, video quality doesn't matter. It's content that matters. And we've said this, I know I've said it on here before, and I say it in my stuff too, but video quality is not necessarily the issue. It's the content you're generating. So one of the things that we've been doing, and I just had a pitch meeting with a Zoom meeting, right? But I did a Zoom thing and did the whole game. They wouldn't use StreamYard for whatever reason, but I did my meeting. And I even sent them an affiliate link. I don't know. Anyway, I did the meeting, and the conversation broke down of directing them. And that's one of the things. So they own a health spa, for example. And so here's a retail chain that cannot physically perform their duties anymore. And so we worked with them on a strategy of creating content. And I'm giving it away for free here, but whatever. We worked on creating content that helps build a community. And then on top of it, the idea was I would help with their videos. We would direct them on how to shoot them, and then we'll take the footage and edit them. There's old Jeremy. And
hey.
And it worked out so that they're creating content, and then they pre-sell gift cards. So that's one option. You can always think about the pre-sale.
Yeah. So that's interesting. One thing we thought about doing, because like Melissa's business is closed for the month of April.
Yeah.
And there's like, we've racked our brains on what we can do virtually, and there's really nothing. And so we were like, well, what can we do to like kind of like build the pipeline? So when May does come, we've got like a pipeline of prospects. And so we're talking about doing a virtual, like sort of intro session. So like we'll go there, kind of do this StreamYard, and have people sign up to come in. They can ask questions. We'll take them through the whole center, and kind of do like a pre-session before they actually come in and do their first session.
Yeah, and I what I've been hearing people say is working, and I'm not telling you how to do anything. This is your strategy too, is doing gift cards where it's like it's $5 is worth $10 if you want it to go that extreme. It's a 50% or 100% markup, but some of them I've even seen just 50% that are working as well. So they watch the pre-session, and then it's like, hey, if you pre-order, so at least it keeps a little bit of business coming in. And it seems like a nice idea, and you only do it for a month. Like, it's not permanent. But if someone were to spend, this was a med spa, their example was like $1,000 or something, and they were giving away $500 extra, so 50%. So someone would come in and buy $1,000, they were getting $1,500 worth of credit, which is
man, that's fantastic. Like a good investment, man. That might be a good investment vehicle.
Yeah, no joke, right? It's like, how do we? Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting way of like motivating people to give them value. You're trying to help them, you're trying to serve them, but you're giving them value. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean,
yeah,
maybe we could structure it like that too, where it's like it's a gift card that they can then apply to their first month's membership.
that's how I do it. And just look, yeah, you're going to take a dip, but we're going to take a dip no matter what. You're better off taking a dip and getting some revenue than
Yeah,
zero revenue. So
I like that. I might actually add that because that's where kind of like missing the gap was like, okay, we get them on the virtual tour, and then like how do we keep them? You want to keep moving them closer to conversion, but it's hard to do when you don't have your business open.
Sorry, one of my kids walked in.
Jeremy, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Your video quality is awesome.
It's just the iPhone.
Yeah.
And
Wow, it's way better than my Android.
Well,
that's a
oh,
given.
he's cheating. He's cheating. Oh, he's cheating.
Come on, Drew.
Well, look, I'm glad you showed me up today. Like I'm on like my phone looks like it has Vaseline on the lens. Like I'm in Dreamy Cam all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's the only time I use good lighting. It's good. I was just thinking about what I'm doing right now is I'm using this time to plan for the future.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have enough income and enough government help to get us through the time we're in now, and then use this time to. I think this downtime has helped me really think about, are the things that I'm doing right now, are the jobs that I'm taking right now, are these things that are making me happy? Jarrett, you can remember whenever I dove off in the deep end, how I said, I didn't do this to make money. I'm doing this because I wasn't enjoying my job. And now I just want to do jobs that I enjoy. And Drew, I know you've probably heard this iteration many times, like, don't take jobs just to get paid kind of thing.
Yep.
But then whenever you, for me, like when you're in startup mode, you have to pay the bills. So you end up taking jobs to pay the bills. And then as you're doing the jobs, you're like, why do this? So I'm doubling down, and we may eat Vienna sausages for a month. Not really, but I give those away to guys that need them down here to eat. So sorry, that was completely random and just interjected. But long story short, I'm doubling down to make sure that every job that comes in now is one that I am going to enjoy working on, for one. And then secondly, I'm using this time to double down on my company's objectives, which have been since the beginning to do event production and not what I'm doing now, which is printing and marketing and stuff like that. Like I enjoy this stuff, I'm good at it, but truly at the end of the day, I don't think my calling in life is to market somebody else's brand. I just don't. I don't think that's what I'm best at, unless that brand is a musician, for example. But like getting paid to market products and services that I don't really, I'm not really passionate about is not what I'm here for. So what I'm doing, to cut to the chase, is I'm using this time to plan and execute my first music festival, which is really where my heart's at. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And we're early in that still, but we've been prepping the company for about 3 years to get to this point. And now we're to the point where we have investors who are committed. And with that tells me that I know that it's going to happen. So I'm using this time to get the company back on track to what it's supposed to be doing, and still doing these things that we're doing, still doing the printing, still doing the marketing, but really trying to use those more as assets for my big business, and then also just as assets for brands that make sense for me to work on. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like, we're doing some of the similar stuff. We're not like launching a music festival or anything, but we're trying to get things in order with our own brand because we're like the cobbler's kids, man. We don't have shoes over here. So
Well, I think what this means also is I'm going to send a lot more work your way.
Yeah,
a lot of the
awesome.
stuff that comes. Yeah, I'm serious. And, you and I have always had a great relationship. And I've never looked at you or your company as, there's this tendency to look at, other companies as competitors. I've been in the marketing space for a little while, nowhere nearly to the maturity that Mighty's at, but you've always been just such a friend through everything and not a competitor. And I've always also looked at your work and the way that you guys communicate and just thought, man, if I was a brand, I would hire Mighty straight up. Like, that doesn't mean that the other marketing agencies in town aren't great, but you guys you're just nice. And I like nice people. So. I'm going to send work your way as soon as it comes through here.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I gotta bounce. I'm gonna take my kids to the grandparents so that I can live a normal life. So I'll catch you guys on the flip.
All right, man.
See you, man.
Enjoy time out of the house. Oh, there you go.
Good, yeah.
Brooks,
Nice
how you
is
doing, man?
good. I'm good. Nice is good. Y'all are nice, and being nice is good. Nice is a good thing.
Yeah.
Jeremy did say music festival. Would that be? Would you do that here in town in Mobile?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. Start here. And you remember me. I don't know if the last time
Yes, I remember you.
that we were talking biz, if I had fully matured into that vision of wanting to do this, we may have been still.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think the event
yeah.
was on your plate or on your list or whatever. I don't think so.
Long story
That's
short,
cool.
when I first got out of the steel company and into entertainment, I saw my ceiling in business as just content creation. Like, I couldn't fathom that I could possibly be the guy who puts together the whole event because the music industry has a tendency to mystify itself a little bit. And you look at big, Hangout or Coachella or Bonnaroo or whatever, and you think there's no way I could ever be the person that produces that because there's so many other people that are doing it. And it just seems too lofty. And after about a year on my own, I realized that I didn't top out at photography. I topped out. I want to do the whole event. So I've been behind the scenes and kind of quiet. I mean, it's on my website. It says that this is what I'm going to do. My Facebook and all that, and all my public branding says Total Event Management. But I've never been too vocal about it because I had to really wait to the point where I had the whole team in place and really the investors in place before I would even start talking about it. And we're at that point now. So now's the time where I'm ready to start pushing that.
Yeah. Nah. That's cool, man.
And yeah,
I heard that.
What we would do is we would start in Mobile. So this company has started in Mobile. We've been in operation since 2017. We'll start in Mobile, and then the goal is for it to be a total event management company that operates all over the Southeast. And I think that with a name like y'all folks, it's pretty good for southern stuff. So
I think it's good, man. So yeah, like putting something out there. I don't know about you, but for me, like stating something publicly, I usually don't do it until I know for sure I'm going to do something. But I do think that's the best thing that a person can do is put something out there publicly. Because for me, it's just like, cool. Either I do it or I'm a liar, or I tell folks, hey, now I've changed my mind. Which is there's no problem changing your mind, but you can say, hey, no, we've changed our mind, and here's why. Like, thought it was a great idea and change course. But I mean, either way, it forces you to kind of face those realities, like just putting stuff out there. I just think it's good. I think it's great for people to put stuff out there.
Absolutely. You have to, completely this exact same. You have to wait until the point where you're 100% sure that you're going to do it, because there's no point in talking about it until then. And then it's like it's almost like from a personal standpoint, I have to put it out there, because if I don't, it's like I got to hold my own feet to the fire. And I think making a public statement that I'm going to do this, there's no better way to have accountability, because now you're in the light and now you got to do it. So yeah.
100%. So I can get, no, go ahead.
I was going to say there might be a huge opportunity for you because Hangout just got canceled.
Yeah, I mean, Hangout got canceled, and I just think in general, the music industry is going to suffer financially for the next 6 months. But then as soon as this thing is over with, it's going to be all systems go, blast off all over the
Yeah.
country with events popping off everywhere. This is going to be a huge concert and festival season. So for somebody that's new into the space, there's really never a better time because things have been completely disrupted, and there's now room for new entrants, new people. So, and I got a company that's been preparing for this. So we're not just like, oh hey, well, yeah, let's do it. It's no, this is what I wanted to do since leaving my former career. So I'm excited. We still have a lot of work to do. I mean, I have the investors on board, and I think that's the important step. And now comes the work of assembling the team and all the things that go into it. So I'm excited. It gives me something to look for.
I'm curious to see if there's gonna be like double the event, like what's gonna happen, say summer, fall. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like so that's kind of something Mandy and I were talking about with the Mobile Rundown, like promoting events. I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, is this gonna be like an insane like summer, fall or whatever? It's gonna be interesting to see. Some events that were canceled, but many were just postponed. They're not really sure what they're doing. I mean, there's gonna be a ton of stuff flowing together happening, I think at one time.
I think you're right, but I also think going back to pre whatever we call this thing, quarantine or crisis or COVID, going back to this, there's a general consensus amongst people that are in Mobile and amongst people outside of Mobile, including a lot of bands and a lot of people in the music industry and people that know that Mobile, it has a lot of room for growth within the music event space. To make a long story short, we don't have the quantity and quality of music events that other cities, some of which are smaller than us, have. Long story short, we don't have enough concerts and festivals to meet the demand that exists here. And so not only are we having a time where our whole industry that we do have is shut down, all the people that are operating now are going to come back strong, and then there's going to be new people, to make a long story short. So to make a long story short, and I say that a lot, I'm sorry, but because I do talk long and I realize I'm talking long and I'm like, okay, let me cut to the chase. But Mobile in our area, the Mobile area was already prime and ripe for more concerts and events. And now that this is taking place, it's doubling down that. It's making it so that it's even more. The demand is so high and the supply is not high enough to meet the demand. And this is speaking nothing against the wonderful venues and places that we have that play music around here now.
Sure.
Nothing at all. There's just more room. There's more room for more providers. And there's especially a lot of room for festivals in our area because we don't have a single commercial music festival in existence right now. And this was pre-quarantine. And that says nothing against the festivals that have existed in Mobile, but 1065 is not with us right now. Maybe they'll come back. I don't know. They're not. They didn't go last year. And then there's another one, South Sounds, which I'm very familiar with it, but it's not very robust. And then there's just no commercial music festivals, and the people in this town want them. They want them bad. So I think that I won't be the only person or the only company moving into music festivals and events. And I think that the people that already operate in that space right now, a lot of which and our friends are people that own venues in town and people that do festivals and concerts and events already and that are good at it, they're going to be killing it in the fall. The privately owned venues around town are going to really do well in the fall, not only from the shows that they're going to do, but I think they'll get more and more into the festival events as well. Because, I mean, Brooks, you're an event guy. People love events. events are basically the peak experiences that people go to get their fill for excitement, and that lasts them, whether a couple of weeks or a couple of months. I mean, that's what people use to get their dopamine release. And so
Sure.
I think we're in a good spot. And when I say we, I don't just mean my company. I think that everybody that's operating in the event space, concert space, music industry space.
You got a party over there?
Why? Yeah, no. I just
happening?
I just look out and there's a dude in my courtyard spraying. And I just remembered that our HOA or one of my neighbors said we're having some sprayers today. So I'm gonna go shut this door real quick. Be right back.
All right.
How are you doing, man? How are you doing, Jared?
Doing good, man. Staying busy.
Yeah, cool.
It's just interesting to see working on a client right now who's focused on helping people through the payroll protection program process.
Yeah.
So, things are coming, things are going. It's an interesting time for sure.
So I was just on the phone probably 15 minutes ago with another business partner of mine and something else, and he's also a CPA, and he was talking about how the current process for that is through banks, but he was kind of explaining why. One, it's like a crazy show, right? I mean, the banks are just figuring it out, right? I mean, you're having to apply through the bank. Then he was talking about how the interest rate is so low on that, and then the bank doesn't really have much incentive. I mean, I guess they're getting paid by the SBA to like process the paperwork and all that, which is how it's working for them. But he was just talking about how like they're just bogged down, and if you're not like a current customer of the bank or you don't have a relationship, man, you're like at the bottom of the list because it's like so much work for them to do. There's just not much incentive for them. And so he was talking about how like CPAs potentially are probably going to get brought into like advising and assisting banks, or he's hoping he's kind of just listening out because his firm would be in a good position to be able to do that and kind of like put packages together for banks to make it like a lot more streamlined and easier. So yeah, it's interesting, man. What's happening, or minute by minute, getting these updates. So it's crazy.
I mean, I talked to my accountant last night, and then a banker today, and like the banker's like, "Yeah, man, like we're getting information this afternoon, apparently."
Yeah, like they're figuring it. Yeah,
it's exactly. Like information's coming out as it's happening, and tomorrow's the first day for applications, and they haven't even told all the banks all the information yet. So
yeah.
It's wild. I mean,
I don't feel for bankers right now, or like CPAs that are getting like 1,000 emails and they're like, right? Look, man, we don't know. Like I'm reading the same article you're reading, man. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's interesting.
I mean, that's the thing. Is there like a webinar where the government's talking to every CPA in the country? Yeah. Like there hasn't been enough
them up
time.
To speed. Yeah, exactly.
There hasn't been enough time for information to disseminate all the way down.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting, very interesting situation for sure. Yeah, and then I heard you and Drew chatting before I hopped on or whatever about looking game plan, things you can do, like you and your wife's business and all that. So
So. It's tricky.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're gonna have whenever everything starts back, Mobile Rundown might get a little bit bigger. The number of events going on.
Yeah, so that's something that we were I think yesterday. Yeah, Mandy and I were talking about. So we're like on one hand, we're not even sure if we're gonna have we do a print magazine now quarterly. And we're like, man, are we even gonna have one? Like we kind of have to wait and see what happens. But it could be also at the same time that it's just crazier than ever due to that exact thing, due to events that were postponed. Yeah, it could be that we're just that we're slammed in the future with promoting stuff that was delayed or just put off for COVID-19. So yeah, I agree, man. That could totally happen.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
But yeah, I'm optimistic. I do feel like, I mean, once we come out of this, like everyone is gonna be going crazy because they've been locked in their house this whole time and. Spending money. I mean, retail therapy is a real thing. People are gonna be spending their money.
Yeah.
I think that they already are. They still are online. I mean, It makes me wish that my e-commerce was further developed. Because I mean, but there's a long list of things I wish we were doing already, but it'll be all right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now's the time to work on all those things, all those things that, we're just, that we're talking about. Like, so literally before I hopped on here, so the run just this week, we've been doing like a live show in the morning, the Mobile Rundown has. And it's like this morning we interviewed Carol Hunter from the Downtown Alliance. And I mean, now because of StreamYard, actually, so rewind back to like literally 1 week ago, Jarrett, because of this platform, we've been able to, now I'm like, holy smokes, we're like producing a show, live, streamed. And then when that show's done, now I'm taking the video and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm uploading this to YouTube. Going forward, that'll be promoted in our newsletter. Like we'll do a show at least once a week. We may do it 3 times a week. We're not sure yet. Now I'm like, well, why not? At least now that it's daily, like it's daily updates. And even if it's weekly or bi-weekly going forward, I'm like, yeah, why not have that as more of a polished show and turn it to a podcast as well? And so that's kind of like what I'm in the middle of doing right now. And none of those were on my plate a week and a half ago at all for this brand. So, and Gulf Coast BizCon, we're doing similar stuff with that. I mean, that's the kind of product mix that I'm looking at there too for, creating and packaging content. So all that made possible, honestly, through this tool. I'm going to call this tool because it's so easy to create something packaged if you want to, and then turn around and distribute it in a different way. So I don't know, man. I'm just like super excited about it. Super excited about it. Who's this?
This is my buddy
Hans,
man. Hans, how's it going?
Hans.
Hello, everybody.
What's
So
up, man?
Jeremy, do you know Hans?
Yeah, I know Hans.
I don't think I know
How you guys
Hans.
doing?
Remember him?
Back from the Auburn.
Yeah.
Oh, how's everybody doing down there?
Hans is our he's our inside man. He's in the thick of it, right?
Yeah, Chicago, man. It's
wow.
it's interesting to see how everything's changed up here
We can't.
with regards
Can
to.
you let him know we can't? Can you guys hear him? I can't hear him.
Oh, can you hear me? No.
Yeah,
I can hear him.
Oh, I'm not able to hear him for some reason.
Hmm.
Y'all go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would just say, like, I kind of like what you guys were saying, dichotomy wise. I mean, everything from a hospital standpoint gets shifted, at least for us, to the point of where we're all kind of just used as like secondaries. Because I mean, I'm surgery primarily, but this thing's a non-surgical issue, right? Ideally, so you're kind of using people where you can, from that standpoint, whether it be ICUs or other settings, from whatever your skill set is. So that's kind of an interesting thing going on, as well as we have a huge center here, like McCormick Center, which is a huge radiology. I mean, it's a huge, just like just think of like the convention center times like 1,000, and they're going to try to set that up as like a secondary place. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed. And with regard to these patients, I don't know. Everybody comes in very differently. In our ER. Basically, you have to come in from my standpoint when I'm there. I'm completely covered from my hat to my eyes, my mask. I have everything going that way just because of the sheer number of volume of patients we have that are COVID positive. So, and we literally have a whole wing of the hospital. Like it's its own standing free tower that's basically nothing but just COVID patients. So
Holy crap.
Yeah. So yeah, and then like I said, you have to kind of itemize. Literally, you're itemizing these people to where do you need respiratory care? Do you need other kind of things from that nature, or are you just like symptomatic and you can go home? So, but some of these things are made like this. These patients will come in saturating 85%, and then you put them on a little bit of rebreather. It helps them, but then you just see them cake out after that. So it's you're pretty spent, kind of trying to be smart about who can you put on a vent and who you don't have to. So, but like I said, I don't know. Is it still like, are you guys stay at home in Alabama or no?
Yeah. We're not sheltered in place yet.
Okay.
They've restricted like non-essential businesses are supposed to be closed. They've restricted hours on grocery stores. They're restricting the number of people that can be in a big box retailer. So we haven't had a shelter in place, but like every state down here just did one.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they got to it pretty quick here. I mean, they just kind of jumped on, I guess, the bandwagon from New York from that standpoint and got onto that. But the other one thing killing me is like no gyms are open, so I'm dead. I'm like working out in the hallway if I can. So farewell. But yeah, everybody kind of just stares at me when they walk past me, and I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry, I have to do something. But yeah, it's very interesting to see kind of from that standpoint. I don't know how we're going to go forward with from the medical, because I mean, no elective surgeries are happening, and then it's just going to keep kind of going forward with regards to like other kind of procedures and things of that nature.
Man.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Nobody has, obviously, but yeah. So we'll see. We will see.
And your wife, she's a doctor as well.
Yeah, and she's anesthesia. So same kind of thing. They're keeping us kind of on like I don't know, you can kind of say, I mean, because you want to minimize how many people are coming into contact with patients. So it's basically almost like a skeleton crew where you have 7 people, you know, you're on for 7 days, you're off for 7 days, on for 7 days, kind of a thing. Because I don't know, obviously I don't think they understand the full complexity of it, because I don't, with regards to, I don't know how you can just, you know, people sit at home with it completely asymptomatic versus somebody your age, my age, come in and just, you know, tanking. So why is it affecting people that are healthy otherwise? You know, and so I don't think they really know that yet, and nobody really can answer that. But it does. I will tell you this: it's not like a flu. When you see these people and you see their like their CT scans or their X-rays or things like that, it's more of like a pneumonia. All right, it's more of like a very congested compliance issue with the lungs. So it's much different than the flu from that standpoint. So I think that's but the problem is people are having these myriad of symptoms where it's like, oh, I have a runny nose. Oh, but with regards to those that are requiring, you know, extensive care and intubation, it's much more than just like a flu-like symptom. And it's like a fulminant pneumonia. And then the ARDS thing they speak about, which is, you know, is more of the symptom of, it's broad. That's usually what we use in like trauma and other settings when your lungs and, you know, just kind of your body just has this respiratory distress syndrome. It's a very broad term. And so that's being used in this stance is still very broad. So yeah, I don't know. I know everybody's listening to, I guess, the news and basically have to sit at home now, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think people are still just gathering facts, especially in the medical field as well.
Is it, I mean, from your viewpoint, is it accelerating? Is it,
I think,
is it like there?
Yeah. From here, I mean, I think it's just the sheer number of cases, because if you test more, like I haven't tested myself. My wife hasn't been tested because I don't feel like I have any symptoms. I've never had it, but who knows? I mean, you could say you have it. So the problem would be you don't know the incubation times as much. I mean, they try to say it's like between, I think, 48 to up to like 5 or something days. And so that's when you can have the virus and have 0 symptoms. 0. But you're just shedding it. So you're just like blah, all over the place. Everybody. And so, you know, that kind of thing. And this just kind of, I don't know, just the variation. It just means that it's just still open, unfortunately, to say where it goes from here. I think the main thing is going to be with regards to hospital occupancy. So I think that's why they're trying to build all these field hospitals you see in New York. They're doing it here. So we'll see from that standpoint where it's going to go. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's all critical care. You know, it's literally all it's all medical management. There's nothing else you can do to really help these people, and all these kind of medications they're giving. I think it's just trial and error. Yeah. Yeah. So like, you know, because the medications, they like the hydroxychloroquine and things of that nature, you know, these are all used for viral diseases. Like hydroxychloroquine is used for malaria. It's what you'd get if you're going to go on like a safari to Africa. They'll give you that a couple weeks beforehand because it's going to help prevent like the malaria. Malaria is a viral disease. It's viral, and other things of that nature as well. Same thing with, I think, azithromycin. That's basically a Z-Pack. It's what you can get over the counter. It's what people get all the time. So I think it's people just trying things out and seeing if it works or not. You know, see if throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I think they're saying within 2 weeks will be the peak. So I'm not sure what that means from that standpoint of peak. I guess they're saying peak death rate, which isn't ideal. But I think it more or less is just going to depend on availability of the hospitals for management of these patients. Yeah.
I was going to ask Jeremy earlier if he was taking the minutes. Jeremy, I was going to ask him if he was taking minutes for us. Like, Jeremy, are you taking the meeting minutes for us, or what are you doing over there, man? I didn't get to ask him. I didn't want to interrupt. So
he was on an intense email.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
But no, I think it's just you're just kind of calling all these, I guess physicians to kind of do, because there's, a lot of people, have already, if you're trying to call physicians that aren't naturally covering those positions, like, if you call an OB-GYN to start covering, a critical care floor, not going to be ideal, right? So that's just going to be the problem is when you just, because you start stretching them out to the point of like you're a physician, so you're better management than most other people, but still there's this critical level where it's like, okay, what are we doing that's going to really help these people versus, harm.
Man.
So, but I don't know. Like I said, this is all still up for debate. Everything going on is like you're learning as we go. I think that's from everybody. It's like you were just saying, from all your, like, from the tax stuff and like, I guess talking to bankers and talking to all these loans and everything like that. I think everybody's just going, because I can tell you right now, all these people up here, same thing with like paying your rent. Luckily, I still have a job, but I'm just like, the place I live, the apartment I live in, they're literally sending stuff out every week because they're like, we're not a big place, so we please ask you still pay, on time, which obviously I'm able to, but the other, 500 people that live in this apartment, I doubt it.
Yeah.
So I just don't know where that's going to go from here, or how quickly they're going to be able to start distributing funds.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody, and they said their understanding was that, like, once you apply specifically for the PPP, the payroll protection program, they were like, as soon as you get approved, the money like gets put in your account. And I don't know if that's true or not. Because you're going through the bank. So the bank is like the intermediary between you and the SBA.
Yeah.
We applied for the SBA EIDL loan, and in the application, it says the money will be in your bank account if you're approved like in 3 to 4 days, and 3 to 4 days is coming up. So we'll find out.
Yeah. Cause that would mean the same thing. I guess the stimulus package, I guess, what was it? $1,200 and $2,400 or things along that nature. I don't know how much, obviously I know rent is probably far more here than it is in the field. That's for some people, that's not even a month's rent. That's like one, that's nothing else. So, I understand it's whatever you can help, but man, that's what I'm just, I don't know. I think it's just all areas, not just, in the hospital is going to be a big question.
Man.
Yep. Guys, I'm going to have to roll. I enjoyed connecting with y'all.
Yeah, it was good seeing you, Hans.
I'll see y'all later. I'm hopping out.
All right, we'll go ahead and end this, man.
All right, man.
Okay.
Stay healthy.
All right, see you guys. Take care.
I got to roll.
Bye, guys.
Everybody later.